Our Wendy's Female High School Athlete of the Week is a sophomore standout for Washburn Rural Cross Country. Her name is Payton Fink, and she is coming off of a fantastic run this past weekend at the Baldwin Invitational. A fourth place individual finish. It was the best finish of anyone at the Invitational from the city of Topeka with a 5-kilometer time of 19 minutes, 9.57 seconds. And Payton, first of all, congratulations on the great run at Baldwin this past weekend. What was working so well for you to finish with a city best time?
Honestly, I think just all the summer training that I've put in so far and just all the workouts we've been doing, putting in so much work, hitting our paces that I just got there and just came naturally, I guess, after all the work.
You mentioned that work going into the year. What are some of the things you worked on during the summer, during the off season between your freshman year and now your sophomore season to get into the shape you're in now? And what were some of the things you were working on to try to improve your efforts going into this year?
So we started just easier workouts and honestly just started like building each time, building our times obviously, and then learning healthy eating habits, just getting into like great shape. We all as a team worked together, pushed each other, so got us into good shape.
I wanted to ask you about another race from earlier this year as well, because you've been on such a red hot start to this cross country season. Earlier this month at the Nixon Invitational in Liberty, Missouri, you finished second among 121 runners from around the greater, larger Kansas City metro area. What was that experience like, racing against so many faces that you probably haven't seen too much either before or since, and to finish second place in a huge race like that?
Yeah, it was incredible. So when I first started the race, I had no clue what to expect because, like you said, we hadn't seen anybody. There were maybe 2 teams there that we had raced before. So I was like, okay, I guess I'll just go out, run as hard as I can, get in the lead pack. And then it just kind of came and just gave it my all.
We're talking to Payton Fink from Washburn Rural Cross Country, a sophomore who is our Wendy's Female High School Athlete of the Week after a tremendous run at the Baldwin Invitational this past weekend. The 4th overall finisher and the tops among all city finishers at the Baldwin Invitational. When you go to a meet, Payton, and you're getting ready for a race, and I know that everybody does this a little bit differently. When I was in high school, I ran cross country, albeit for just a year, but I know that everybody had a different way they approached a race. What's your pre-race preparation like? What do you like to do to kind of get in the zone and get ready to walk up to the starting line?
Honestly, I kind of put off the nerves until very last second, try to just like hang out with my friends, just enjoy the team aspect until you get to that start line. And honestly, it kind of helps because if you just save up that nervousness, I guess, then it's just like the adrenaline is all there ready for you at the start line.
Running is obviously such an individual sport in terms of performance and times, and you're competing against yourself most of the time in a lot of races. But how much does having that team element in cross country help you to be around your friends, to be around your teammates, to lift each other up? How much do you think that helps you when you're at a meet?
I mean, I think it helps tremendously because I don't think I would get through like any of the like hardships of running. I mean, after a race, if you have a bad race, you feel terrible and your friends will just lift you up, like encourage you, tell you that you're going to do better next race. And it just honestly helps so much to have people there for you.
We've got just a couple more questions for Payton Fink, a sophomore from Washburn Rural Cross Country, our Wendy's Female High School Athlete of the Week. Now, once you finally hear that starting gun, you take off, you're in the midst of the race. What would you say is the part of the race when you're at your most comfortable? Are you a strong starter? Do you have more of that kick at the end? You're a strong finisher. What would you say is the part of the race where you're at your most comfortable?
So after we get started and I get like kind of up with the people that I know I can stick with, just kind of like towards the middle, when I start feeling strong, I'll add a few surges in there. Honestly, I feel like that's where I'm my strongest is just like pushing myself in the middle to pass a couple people or just try to like really aim for that time.
Now, going into this season, Payton, we talked about some of the things you worked on going into the year, but what were some of the goals you set for yourself this season? Were any of them about specific times or setting new PRs? Was it just about, other certain, personal mental health kind of things going into races? What were some of the goals you set for yourself going into this year? And how many of those things do you think you've accomplished so far?
Yeah, so at the very beginning, we do a team goal setting meeting, and I wrote down that I wanted to run an 18:30, which at Olathe Twilight, my second meet, I ran an 18:29. So I beat that. And so honestly, now I'm just looking forward to continuing to PR and kind of aiming for that 18-15 spot now, medal at state, hopefully.
And that's the last question I was going to bring up to follow things up and put a bow on this, Payton, is what are some of the goals you have left for the rest of this season? Obviously, get to state, be a state medalist, that right there. Are there any other team goals or anything else individually you're hoping to accomplish before this year comes to a close?
Yeah, so as a team, this year we're looking super strong, the strongest we've looked for a while. So our team just works hard every single day to hopefully take podium at state this year. I mean, our team, these girls are incredible. So I can't wait to see what we accomplish. But yeah.
And we can say the same thing. We can't wait to see what the Washburn Rural team accomplishes and what Payton Fink can accomplish in the rest of her sophomore cross-country season. Our Wendy's Female High School Athlete of the Week after a tremendous run this past weekend at the Baldwin Invitational. Payton, thank you so much for taking the time for us today. We really appreciate it. And best of luck to you and the rest of the Junior Blues the rest of this sophomore season.
Thank you so much.